at 560theanswer.com. For over a decade, AM 560 has marked the start of summer with a night of cigar smoking and great conversation. And this year, we're proud to welcome the editor-in-chief of Breitbart News to Cigar Night. He's Alex Marlowe, and he'll join AM 560's Dan Proft and Sean Thompson on Tuesday, May 19th at Gobert's Farm in Pingree Grove for a night you won't forget. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/cigar. That's 560theanswer.com/cigar. Sponsored by Virago, the immune enhancement cocktail.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Life is full of challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. At intouch.org, you'll find powerful sermons from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, and resources designed to strengthen your faith and bring hope into your everyday life. Whether you're searching for encouragement, biblical wisdom, or practical guidance, intouch.org is here to help you grow closer to God. Discover truth that speaks to your heart. Visit intouch.org today. Thanks.
For months, you've been hearing ads about Virago Immune Support. I have to tell you, this stuff is for real. I had an occasion to not be feeling well on a remote broadcast. I took it, and it is the real deal. And the stronger your immune system, the stronger your body defends against diseases, viruses, and everything else. That's why Dr. Huber created Virago, a liquid immune booster supplement. You take it daily. It's a blend of 23 nutraceuticals working in synergy to maximize effects and boost your immune system. It's the nutraceutical cocktail for an immune system, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. Virago even protects your heart, your kidneys, your liver, all in a unique liquid supplement for better absorption. Do yourself and your spouse a favor. Order a bottle of Virago today online at myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Maha and Virago, making America healthy again.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Destination Retirement with Robert Kuhn. Tune in Sunday mornings from 11 to 12 for Destination Retirement with Robert Kuhn. Sponsored by Kuhn Capital Partners in Oak Brook.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson.
Welcome to Wednesday. Well, they're trying to ignore it. That's right. The legacy media has yet to report on my lawsuit against J.B. Pritzker over the racial map making that they do in Illinois. And I want to thank the Federalist, Sean Fleetwood, for writing a very definitive article on it. I want to thank Zero Hedge for picking up the article. I want to thank Molly Hemingway for tweeting out about it. I want to thank Senator Eric Schmidt, who said this on his X account. J.B. Pritzker called Calais an abomination. No wonder Illinois built one of the clearest race-based redistricting regimes in the country. just filed the first major post-Calais lawsuit, and Illinois is the target. Time to enforce Calais nationwide. So there you have it. I want to thank all those folks for picking up on the lawsuit that I filed, along with the Public Interest Legal Foundation, who are my lawyers in this case, on Friday. And we'll see if the Trib and the other assorted legacy media in Illinois continue to ignore it because they don't want to focus on it, because it's more than obvious when you read the statute that Illinois does make their districts based on race. And that is patently unconstitutional, especially in the wake of the SCOTUS decision on Louisiana v. Calais. So I just wanted to give you a little update about that, and we'll continue to update you as the case moves forward. We expect no action on it for the next 3 weeks. Had an interview with Center Square on that as well. Moving on to more important topics like energy, because you know what? Nothing happens until you have the energy to support it. And that's why we should be all concerned about what's happening in the state of Illinois, because the Democrats are still in hysteria over global warming and climate change. And so they continue down the path of renewable energy. And so what we've been talking about quite frequently and recently is what's happening in Joliet. Not only are they going to lose 900 megawatts of power that is being shipped to Texas, but they are also now planning a 795-acre data center, which requires reliable, pure, 99.99% pure power to happen, and that only happens with fossil fuels. It cannot happen with renewables. So here to discuss all of that and Al Gore's new hysteria, which we'll get to, is Steve Goreham. He's the executive director of the Climate Science Coalition of America and the author of 4 books on energy, climate change, sustainable development, and public policy, with over 100,000 copies in print. His latest book is Green Breakdown: The Coming Renewable Energy Failure. And he joins me again to discuss all of these topics. So, Steve, thanks so much for joining me today.
Hey, Amy, great to join you. And yeah, we have a power shortage coming to northern Illinois here. As you say, the Elwood gas power plant shutting down 2/3 of it, moving it to Texas, almost a gigawatt there. And then the new data center in Joliet is going to use about 2 gigawatts. So immediately we have a transition. We have about 3 gigawatts that have just disappeared, net gigawatts from the service in northern Illinois. And we've got of course, the state is sticking with the let's see, what is their law here? The CE,
well, they have
forgetting it
CEJA,
here.
And then they had an additional, variation of that because they've had to manipulate this 4 different times. And so their latest variation was in November when they decided to double down on bad policy and put in like about $8 billion worth of incentives for batteries, which hopefully you'll get to understand, let people understand how bad that is. But, they did announce, Hull Street Energy announced that they're going to be moving 2/3 of their Elwood gas-fired power plant near Joliet to Texas. Like, why are they doing this?
Yeah, it is a CEJA. That's one, the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, passed in 2021, which requires coal and gas power plants to shut down between 2030 and 2045. And so Hull Street said, hey, we're not going to wait. Right now there's a shortage across the country for gas turbines. Texas right now has their pipeline of projects to build gas-fired power plants for data centers will produce more electricity than the entire state of California. That is just what's in the pipeline right now. And so Hull Street Energy is just going to take 2/3 of their power plant, put it on a truck, send it down there. They've sold it to somebody because there's the prices are up for gas turbines by about 50%, and they'd have to shut down in Illinois if they kept it. So what's going to happen in Illinois is they're going to have to stop building data centers because they're not going to have enough power. And all our rates are going to go up, unfortunately, because of this push to get rid of gas and try and make everything wind and solar.
Yeah, but it's interesting because they're physically moving the hard material to Texas because you can't. It's a 5-year delay to even get to these types of parts. And Illinois CEJA law says, oh, if you're a private sector entity producing natural gas, a peaker plant, we're shutting you down in 2030. And so they're just saying, we're not waiting, right? We're leaving now.
Yeah, it is remarkable. And you pointed this article out to me. I expect this is going to be happening around the country. in these green energy states that are saying, well, we want you to use wind and solar, there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to move these. And rather than shut down a gas plant, they're going to move it somewhere else because there's such a demand for turbines right now. They have like 130 projects in Texas right now. Texas is bigger than the next 7 states combined, but we have these all over the country that are trying to put in these data centers and using on-site gas. And so we're going to see these moving in other places too. And the green states are going to be left behind by the artificial intelligence revolution like Illinois unless they decide to get smart and change their policies.
Well, we know that they won't because we've watched this too long. At least I don't believe in them. But anyway, it's going on. So there is this new $20 billion 795-acre data center that's been approved in Joliet. What are your thoughts on this project?
Well, it seems a little bit okay. It's not a real big data center. It's the biggest in Illinois, but it's about kind of in the middle around the country right now. But it doesn't look like they're building their own power plant, which I think will be a problem because, as we say, they're going to have to get 1.8 gigawatts from the grid. I think they are using, I think they're recycling the water is what I read, which is a good thing so that they're not continually using evaporative cooling. They have a contained system. Once you put the water in, you keep it and you recirculate it. So that's a good thing. But it is supposed to do a lot for the community. I think it's something like $2 billion in taxes over 30 years that they're going to pay. There's 10,000 construction jobs. As long as it's not next to your house, I don't think I want a data center right next to my house. But they're kind of like big warehouses, really, is what they are. But if you don't pursue this is people don't realize how big the AI revolution is. It's estimated that AI is going to boost the U.S. economy by 10% by 2034. Goldman Sachs estimates that this is going to raise world GDP by 7% over the next decade. Data center capital construction right now, next year, 2027, is going to be bigger than the defense budget. It's going to be bigger than all of the primary and secondary education in the United States, which is about $1 trillion a year. These numbers are very, very big. And if a state like Illinois says, well, we're not going to allow you to power these, they're just going to go somewhere else.
Well, I would say, if a state like Illinois is okay with data centers, one, we heard from the experts last fall where you testified in that Senate hearing that if data centers come in, they need to bring their own power. And if the Joliet data center is not bringing its own power, I mean, right now, the residents are up in arms. Two, they do have a bill out there saying that you have to bring your own power. That hasn't passed yet. Obviously, this one's going to go under construction under the old rules. I don't know if it'll then force it to bring its own power. But, regardless, there's not enough power to go around. What is going to happen? Are electrical bills just going to spike?
Well, I think they're going to go up. Now, you have really 3 choices. You can build a nuclear plant, but that takes about 10 years right now. Until these small modular reactors come in and cut that time down, it takes too long. You can build wind and solar, but you got to use huge amounts of land, about 100 times the land of a regular plant. And then you got to go get transmission for all these things. And it takes years and years to get transmission and build all the towers. So really the only alternative to try and put up a data center in 3 or 4 years is to use gas-fired power. And we have this law in Illinois, and they're not going to let you build any of those plants. So Illinois is going to have to stop allowing data centers, or they're going to have to go back to allow gas, as other states are doing across the country.
Okay, well, you know what? It's interesting because Illinois' law is all based on the hysteria of global warming.
Mm-hmm.
That's the entire thing. That's why they started with, the Future Energy Jobs Act back in 2016, and then they moved to the Climate and Equitable Jobs Act. I mean, it's all based on climate hysteria. And we're spending a lot of money to subsidize renewable energy, wind, solar, now batteries. It's all based on this climate hysteria, and none of that's green, oh, by the way, which you have pointed out multiple times. But here's Al Gore. Al Gore was the leader of the climate hysteria, but it seems like he's changing his tune. Take a listen.
There's a whole big article summarizing the recent dire warnings of the scientists who found yet more confirmatory information that this is a very real threat within the next 25 years.
If that happens and the Gulf Stream ceases to exist as we know it, we're in an ice age in like 10 years.
No. It would take long, but it would be bad.
Okay, so is it 25 years, 10 years before catastrophe hits on the other side? Global freezing, Steve?
Yeah, he just spoke at a conference. You played a clip from a conference from the Hollywood Reporter and the Sustainable Entertainment Alliance. We have to have sustainable entertainment, you know. But this has been kicking around for quite a while. Back in 2004, they came out with the movie The Day After Tomorrow, which talks about an ice age caused by first human emissions and then the Gulf Stream shutdown. The whole theory on this says that the ice in Greenland is going to melt, and other areas going to put a lot of fresh water in the Atlantic, shut down the Gulf Stream. The problem is that, as we know and we've talked about before, we've had many multi-century long periods in the past when it's been warmer than today. And the Gulf Stream didn't shut down during those periods. So the whole theory is wrong. The Gulf Stream is not going to shut down. And it's just another fear that Mr. Gore and others have been putting out there. And, you know, I think the claims and the fears are getting more strident now because people are saying, well, you know, maybe this climate stuff doesn't really make sense.
Well, I think it's one of those many things where we're seeing the end of wokeness because this is laughable, what he's putting out after warning everybody about global warming for so many decades and making money off of it and having nations spend trillions of dollars. I think this is just one of those hysterias, like, you know, you name it, COVID, DEI, the SPLC, the Fauci guy getting indicted. I mean, you name it. The people are done with this, and they're just not believing it. So I think this is going nowhere.
We've entered an age of skepticism, you know, and then there was overpopulation for many years. Everybody just hundreds of millions of people are going to starve. And now we've got population that the birth rates won't support the population on 6 or 7 continents. So all of the world leaders were wrong on that as well. But the latest thing is, did you hear about Y Insect, the biggest insect food company in Europe that has declared bankruptcy?
Oh, good grief. Put this in that category too. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, the United Nations has been urging people for many years to eat insects, and so we have got companies like Y Insect in France. They got a $600 million loan, but their revenue never got over $17 million, and now they've declared bankruptcy.
In France?
So,
an insect insect food company in France, which is known for its delicacies?
Yeah, well, first they were going to use bugs for dog food. But then they started doing mealworms for people, too, and it just didn't work out. So, you know, it's just another one of those things. If you look at history, though, as nations get wealthier, they eat more meat and seafood. Every nation on Earth is eating more meat than they were in the past, good or bad, except for India. They have religious issues with that. But so, again, another thing that, you know, we got to do is to save the planet, just goofy stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I used to feed my gecko, you know, crickets and mealworms, and I'm not eating that crap. All right. So in your book, Green Breakdown, you predict that the world is heading for a renewable energy failure. How is the breakdown coming in your mind?
It is breaking down. And we just had elections in Europe, and Reform UK won a whole bunch of seats under Nigel Farage, and they have coined the phrase net stupid zero. So we see changes going on all over the world here. And so people should get Green Breakdown, Becoming Renewable Energy Failure, from my website, Steve Goreham, GOREHAM.com. If they buy one, I'll send them a signed copy of that and my other 3 books. And it has, in addition to the facts and economics, it has great color sidebars. Here's one. Surgeon uses human fat to run his cars. There was this is in the Independent, a Beverly Hills plastic surgeon who was boiling down tissue he was taking from patients and making biofuel out of it. He actually was prosecuted. I guess you're not allowed to do that.
Oh, my God. These people are wackadoodle. All right. Always there with the very serious and informative stuff, and then bringing us the wacky stuff, too, that people are doing in the realm of, protecting our environment. It's just outrageous. Yep. Well, Steve Goreham, thanks so much for coming on The Real Story. We appreciate your insight all the time. And we'll be right back. You bet. We'll be right back because I want to talk about those art grants that are going away. You wouldn't believe who's getting them and what a joke this Crain's article is about it. We'll be right back.
exposing the lies and the misinformation from the politicians and the media. This is The Real Story on AM 560. The Answer.
Now that spring is here, it's time for some spring home maintenance.
That's cold!
Hot water issues? Call Center Guard Plumbing. Right now, get a new 40-gallon atmospheric vent water heater installed for just $1,295 standard installation, or a 50-gallon for $1,395 standard installation, with free haul away of your old tank. A proud sponsor of AM 560. You'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on tankless and atmospheric vent water heaters with Center Guard Plumbing. Plus, get 10% off any licensed plumbing contractor competitor's price. Center Guard Plumbing is Chicagoland's same-day water heater experts. Call before noon, and they can schedule your repair or install the same day on in-stock water heaters. You're only a text away from install today. Call 847-406-8883. Mention AM 560 to receive spring special pricing. That's 847-406-8883. Call or text 847-406-8883 or visit centerguardplumbing.com.
Why would you take your precious metal collections to some fly-by-night roadshow that rolls into town once a year? The only thing you need to do is follow the road to Fox Valley Coins and show your gold or silver to the team. Gold is at an all-time historical high, so don't keep sitting on your coin hoards or old jewelry that you've been saving to sell when the time is right. The time is right now. Prices have never been better on most collector and gold coins. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is trying to keep up with demand. So they're paying the most ever on not only most gold coins in bars, but also those old coin collections. You might have scarce dates or higher grade coins, so take advantage of the record high market price and the demand now. Whether you're buying or selling, or just want to find out values, trust the team at Fox Valley Coins. Fox Valley Coins is on Route 59, just one light north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. Family-owned integrity since 1981.
Let me ask you something. Does your garage floor look bad, covered in salt, cracked or stained from the winter's brutal blast? Well, I've got a fix for you so you can start enjoying your garage this spring. Contact my good friends at Level 10 Coatings. Level 10 brought my garage floor from dirty and gross to showroom, shiny new in just one day. Level 10 Coatings can do the same for you. A quick and easy fix, permanent durable solution. Guaranteed to never chip or peel. Get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this spring and summer. Schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, for $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Level10coatings.com or call 855-510-2628. Again, that's 855-510-2628. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back. The phone number here, by the way, is 312-642-5600 if you want to weigh in on the conversation. I'm turning to something that I really care about a lot, and it's a project that I started a couple years ago, even before Trump was elected in 2024. We started our Doge project. And we continue to look into a number of areas where, Illinois is spending money and try and bring out those stories so that you guys can be more informed about where your money's going. So I appreciate it when, the local media gets involved too. I like it. I like that they've come up and they write these stories and they tell us where the money's going. And so Cranes did just that. Judith Crown is the author of this. Oh my gosh, it had to have been 3,000 words that she wrote on how Chicago arts and culture organizations plan to stay strong despite federal cuts. The year before Donald Trump's second term, Illinois arts and humanities organizations received $21.4 million in federal funding. In the 15 months since the president began his second term, federal funding for these organizations has been cut by 46%. Okay. The three primary federal agencies that make grants supporting arts and cultural institutions are the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the National Endowment for the Humanities, and the National Endowment for the Arts. And they are bemoaning how much? $2 million in cuts. $2 million in cuts. Illinois Humanities. Here's some of the cuts. The Hyde Park Jazz Festival was cut $30,000. The Chicago Architecture Center was cut $20,000. Steppenwolf Theater was cut as well, for its play, The Book of Grace. I think that was also $30,000. Steppenwolf Theater. Well, why don't we just go there? Why don't we just go to Steppenwolf Theater? Because I just looked it up. They have a play going on right now, Catch Us As You Can. I believe that's the name of it. And you know what the tickets cost is? $158. And then I looked up their sponsors. Steppenwolf Theater, bemoaning the fact that the federal taxpayer is not giving them money. Here's their lead sponsors. Allstate, Northern Trust, Bloomberg Philanthropies, United Airlines, Zell Family, Lefkowski Family Foundation, the Crown families, the Keating Crown, the Ann Phillips, the John Harts, the Carol Prinz, the on and on. ConAgra, Frost Chicago, PNC. The Illinois Arts Council supports them. You bet. And it goes on and on. Meyer Brown, Sidley. Of course, you'd recognize some of these big law firms. Numerous grand benefactors. More benefactors from the $50,000 to $100,000 level. Producers, patrons, sustainers, pages and pages and pages of donors. Do they really need federal tax money to produce a theater program that costs $158? No, they don't. It's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I only have a minute left in this segment because I have so much to say about this. I'm going to have to bring it back. Just so you know, though, the largest federal awards went to the University of St. Francis for $145,000. Let's see. We had the Great Books Foundation got $60,000. National Louis University got $60,000. The Board of Trustees at the University of Illinois got a $60,000 grant. They don't need any money. Cahokia Mounds Museum got $60,000. So, I mean, look, we need to have a little bit of a come together. Speaking of federal grants, those most reliant on federal grants, this is all according to Crane Chicago Business. Guess who's on the list? The Glen Ellen Public Library is one of the most reliant on federal grants. Okay, I have a lot more to say about this, but I'm up against the clock, and we've got the Watchdogs coming up after this break, but I will also go back into this story.
For over a decade, AM 560 has marked the start of summer with a night of cigar smoking and great conversation. And this year, we're proud to welcome the editor-in-chief of Breitbart News to Cigar Night. He's Alex Marlowe, and he'll join AM 560's Dan Proft and Sean Thompson on Tuesday, May 19th at Gobert's Farm in Pingree Grove for a night you won't forget. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/cigar. That's 560theanswer.com/cigar. Sponsored by Donnelly Auctions.
President Trump is in Beijing for a high-stakes face-to-face meeting with President Xi, and trade, tech, and Taiwan all expected to be at the top of the agenda.
Taiwan hit record highs last year for its trade, and that's fueled by the AI surge. And some say that boom is adding friction and also giving Taiwan cover. The island, which, get this, is just roughly the size of the state of Maryland. It produces most of the world's advanced semiconductor chips, about 90%. So that means what happens there in Taiwan will be felt everywhere.
That's Fox Business's Lydia Hu. The South Carolina State Supreme Court overturned Alec Murdaugh's murder convictions in the killings of his wife and son in 2021 and threw out his life sentence, ruling unanimously that a court clerk influenced jurors to find Murdaugh guilty. Becky Hill later pleaded guilty to lying. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect a mix of clouds and sun with a cool breeze reaching a high of 59. Tonight will be clear and chilly with the low of 44. Tomorrow will bring a blend of sun and clouds with temperatures rising to a high of 67. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Do you see yourself traveling, working part-time, or moving somewhere warmer when you retire? Hi, I'm Nolan Webster, your local Chicagoland Edward Jones financial advisor, and I want to help make your retirement goals a reality. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to be, and how we can get you there. Together, we can plan for the expected and make sure you're ready for the unexpected. Call me at 224-801-6107. That's 224-801-6107. Or visit edwardjones.com to get started today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank, a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Anthony and John here from Bionic Auto Parts, proud clients of Signature Bank. We deliver high-quality, recycled and remanufactured auto parts to Chicago and Milwaukee. Our mission is simple: provide parts safely, reliably, with great customer satisfaction.
We process over 350 vehicles a month. With big banks, everything took forever. Layers of approvals and endless delays. At Signature Bank, one call got it done. Whether it's lending, deposits, or treasury management, they deliver fast. Signature Bank made us feel like family. That's a partnership we deeply appreciate.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Want to learn how Signature Bank can help turn your business vision into reality? Call Signature Bank at 773-467-5600 or visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The mainstream media isn't just biased. They're hiding stories from you deliberately. Restoration News is changing that. With elite researchers and fearless writers, Restoration News is the conservative media force fighting back in the information war for America's future. Download the Restoration News mobile app today or visit restoration-news.com. That's restoration-news.com. Real stories, real truth. It's time you knew what they don't want you to know.
Are you 65 or older and dealing with chronic knee or shoulder pain? You're not alone. At the Joint Relief Institute, we've helped thousands find real relief without surgery. Our non-surgical, FDA-approved treatment uses hyaluronic gel that acts like a cushion between the bones in your knee. As we age, the cushion naturally wears down, causing painful grinding and popping. But our gel restores that cushion, allowing your knee to move smoothly again. Ready to stop the pain and get back to doing what you love? Call the Joint Relief Institute at 708-315-6800. Again, that's 708-315-6800.
Move better, live better with JRI.
Move better and live better with JRI. Contact the Joint Relief Institute today and get back to doing what you love. Call 708-315-6800 or visit jointreliefinstitute.com. Locations in Glenview, Oakbrook, and Orland Park. Call 708-315-6800. Medicare and most private insurance plans accepted. Reclaim your mobility with the Joint Relief Institute.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldilocks, offering smart security systems to homes and businesses. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600.
AM 560, The Answer.
I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy.
All right. Well, welcome back. You know what? I got to continue on with this before we get to our watchdogs, and they'll understand. This is an important story, actually. Spending money on the arts, okay? And, of course, Crane Chicago writing this huge, massive article that, oh, my gosh, the federal government's cutting arts programs. Well, in that realm, though, I will say this. So Governor Pritzker put out a press release, and he said that he's going to be funding all sorts of arts programs for the public, for the America's 250 public art recipients. They include Arts Connection of Central Illinois, Effingham. These are all groups getting $15,000 in grants. Actually, I'm not going to read all of them. There's like 32 of them. Art Partners of Central Illinois, Batavia Artists Association, Chicago Public Art Group, City of Decatur Library, City of Macomb, City of Pontiac, DeKalb, East St. Louis Historical Society. Anyway, it goes on. And so they're getting these grants for America 250 public art. Okay. $325,000 total. That's all he's going to spend on it. But you would think that that's all he's going to spend. That's not all that they're spending on arts programs. Not by a long shot. And in fact, what I can tell you is that when it comes to arts, people getting art grants, Art Impact, Art Village, Art Incorporated, Peoria, we'll get back to that one. Art Incorporated, again, $5 million, $250,000, $300,000, all for Art Incorporated in Peoria. This is in the FY26 budget. So that's well over $5.5 million just to that one organization in Peoria. That's in the budget. Well, what did they do recently? Oh, they had a program. And what they did is they produced this series called That's What She Said. That's What She Said. And this is one of their art programs that Art Incorporated in Peoria put together. And their producer was Nikki Roman. She's the director and producer of That's What She Said, a live storytelling event that brings women speakers to the stage to share real experiences, hard-earned lessons, and personal triumphs. Through honest, powerful narratives, the event creates space for connection, reflection, and community-wide inspiration, reminding audiences that empowerment often begins when someone chooses to tell the truth out loud. So these women sit on stage and just say stuff about what's happening in their life. Well, that organization got $5.5 million from you. But let's go on. Okay, this is just arts, too, by the way. Oh, one of my favorite ones, of course, is the Puerto Ricans. Oh, my God, they get so much. Here's a grant for $490,000, another one for $100,000, another one for $300,000, $200,000. Yep, all for the Puerto Rican Arts Alliance. They're big winners, but they're big winners in other ways, too. Because total for the arts, over $29 million in last year's budget. I don't know why Cranes didn't write an article on that. Why did they not write an article on that? Instead, they want to bash the Trump administration for cutting federal grants. $47 million, $337,054 going to museums. The National Museum of Puerto Rican Art and Cultural, Chicago. These are their grants. $350,000, $450,000, $500,000, $250,000, $300,000, $13,511, $300,000, $97,000. Oh, I'm sorry. That last one was for the National Public Housing Museum. The National Public Housing Museum got $97,000. Good grief. Anyway, all the rest of those, Puerto Rican art and give me a break. We're spending too much money in these categories. Okay. All right. One last thing. Libraries, because this is what, of course, the Cranes article focused on. Oh, we're cutting libraries, museums, and the arts. Okay. $26,502,988 million. $26 million. $26 million go into all sorts of libraries across Illinois. Do you really think we need federal grants? And these guys, just a bunch of naysayers. Oh, by the way, Steppenwolf gets a grant from the state of Illinois, too. It's small. It's de minimis, like at around $3,000. They get a bunch of them. They give out a lot of those little grants. In total, though, it was over $1 million in 2025. So, Cranes, how about an article about that? Because it's a freaking waste of money. Steppenwolf should get no money. And the fact that they even responded or said anything about an article in the Cranes about losing money when they have all those benefactors, this is all one big grift. Well, nobody knows that better than my watchdogs, and I welcome them now. Kirk and John, thanks for being on the program with me. Sorry for the delay. I had to clean up that story.
Thank you. How do you really feel, Jeannie?
Oh, was I not angry enough? Well, I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. All right, who's up first?
Go ahead, John. Well, I can talk about how do you pronounce? Is that Proviso?
Oh, Proviso Township, cutting to the chase on township trustee residency requirements. This sounds good. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, there's a township trustee named Gay Francis Chase. She has an outstanding past history of public service. She was an attorney. She is retired as a federal administrative judge with 37 years of federal service, awards, accolades, and she's also a township trustee and on the board of fire and police commissioners in the village. But she moved to Florida. She retired and moved to Florida.
Is anybody surprised that a pensioner in Illinois moved to Florida?
She bought a home in Florida, a new home too. Oh. And she registered to vote in Florida. She got a homeowner's exemption in Florida. That's only available for somebody that lives there full time and uses that as their permanent homestead.
Wait, did you say she was a judge?
Yeah, she was a federal administrative judge.
All right.
And with residency for elected officials in Illinois, you really have to have the intent of making a place your permanent residency. Well, she sold both her homes in Illinois, bought the home in Florida, got homestead exemption in Florida, registered to vote in Florida, signed a basement lease for a basement up here in Proviso Township to try to keep her residency up here. We still don't know whether she changed her driver's license yet, but I believe she probably did, and her vehicle registration. But the point is, she's been calling in remotely to attend the meetings. And I live out of state is not a legitimate reason to call in remotely to attend a meeting.
Okay, her fellow trustees probably know about this, right? Know that she's moved to Florida?
Oh, yeah, they're fine with it. So's the attorney.
It's What the hell? How long has this been going on?
I do have to say, after we wrote our article, a local resident took it upon himself to file a complaint against her homestead exemption in Florida. And they read the article, reviewed the requirements of being an elected official in Illinois, and removed that homestead exemption in Florida.
Okay, so that's the way to get at her, because that homestead exemption in Florida is a big deal.
Yeah, it was like $58,000 reduction or something like that.
Oh, my gosh. So she got screwed over in Florida. So now what's she doing? God, this is such a great story. I love it. Go ahead.
We're waiting for the next meeting or two to see how she claims to be signing in remotely, because the Open Meetings Act doesn't list, I live out of state now as a reason to sign in. It has to be a job, family emergency, medical, or some situation like that. And she doesn't have any of those down in Florida. So we're monitoring the situation at this point to see whether she's actually going to try to attend the meetings remotely or just don't even attend at all.
So Eileen O'Neill Burke O'Malley, whatever her name is, she's all over it, right? As the state's attorney, she's going to prosecute this lady for fraudulent, for frauding the government. No. No,
she's still registered to vote in Cook County. Now, it's not against the law to be registered to vote in two different states. It is against the law to actually vote in two different states.
And we don't know if she's done that.
We're working on getting that information, and this November will probably tell us all we need to know. But we do know she personally attended the annual township meeting of the electors and voted. So that counts as voting in Illinois. So we'll see what happens this fall.
You just can't make this up. And nobody is saying a word. None of the township trustees are saying a word. Nobody on that, she's on the Village of Bellwood Fire and Police Commission. Nobody's saying a word there. They all know she's not even present, and they're letting this go on.
And they know she lives out of state.
These people suck. They suck. Well, I'm telling you, citizens, get the hell involved. You're getting screwed over in small ways and big. I mean, I just rattled off, $100 million going to these arts museums. And by the way, it's not everybody gets it. No, not everybody gets that art grant. Not everybody gets a museum grant. No.
Speaking of that, you talk about the Illinois Arts Illinois Arts Agency?
Go ahead.
About 10 years ago or so, we found out that they were paying a grandmother to teach the granddaughter one of those ethnic instruments. And they were paying her big money to do it.
Oh, my gosh. Well, Shirley Madigan was in charge of the Arts Council. That was her big thing. Shirley Madigan, we would get letters when I was a state rep. Oh, the Illinois Arts Council just gave X amount of dollars to X amount to this organization. We're like, we actually had a poster board of them. We just thought they were hysterical.
And Rauner left her on there.
Yep, he did. He sure did. Mm-hmm. Oh, Mike. Well, I love this story about Proviso Township because it tells you how what terrible elected officials these other people are who are allowing this to go on. They know full well. And this lady's a judge. Is there an honest Cook County judge? Is there? Is there an honest Cook County judge? Because I'm going to tell you right now, her other judge friends also knew she moved to Florida.
You're probably right. And she changed her ARD attorney registration to her home in Florida.
Okay, you cannot be angry enough, people.
She told the ARDC that she lives there.
You cannot be more pissed off about government in Illinois. You just... I'm in a state like you wouldn't believe today. All right. You know, from my green energy stuff to the legacy media, which I don't care, actually. I really don't care. I think it's comical that they're ignoring the lawsuit I filed against Pritzker on racial map making. I think it's hysterical because it tells you how terrible they are more than anything. They all have my phone number. They all know how to get a hold of me. I think it's funny as hell. I hope they don't contact me.
They don't want to.
No, they don't want to. Okay, let's go to Kirk. Kirk, what do you got?
Boy, where to start after all that?
I don't know if you can beat John's story today. I'm not sure you can beat John's story today, but go ahead, try.
Well, on the subject of residency, we'll tie it back into Shelby County with the ethics article we published. One of the things that we had asked about a year and a half ago, I confronted a board member after a meeting out in the parking lot if she was still, was it true that she was no longer living in Shelby County? And she denied it and said, "Oh no, I live at home. You want to see my water bills?" Well, when we ended up getting records from Jasper County, she not only was not honest with me, but she had been living in Jasper County for almost a year. And she resigned after a particular FOIA for information because I think she knew the game was up. But she knew for a whole year she wasn't qualified to be on the board, but she did it. But anyway, that's Shelby County.
So, but also her fellow board members knew she wasn't either. Come on.
I suspect so. There's 22 board members. I mean, going to their meetings is like, trying to see a dog catcher herd a bunch of cats. You cannot function with a board that size. There are just too many opinions and too many problems. But anyway, the chairman took it upon himself to allegedly use the county seal and endorse a candidate during the last primary, and did so in his capacity as the chairman. Well, ethics complaints were filed, and within the state ethics law, it triggers a timeline that within 72 hours, they're supposed to notify those people who complained as to the time and date of the hearing. Well, we're on month number 2, and nothing has happened yet. Well, tonight, or Thursday night, is their meeting. They published their agenda last night, and the primary complaint came from the treasurer. Well, lo and behold, one of the people they're going to appoint to the Ethics Commission is the same woman at the last meeting stood up and demanded that the treasurer needs to resign because she's not doing her job. So they picked that person to be on an Ethics Commission to hear a complaint from the very person that she just called out at a meeting. I mean, you can't make this stuff up.
No.
There's not even a smidget of trying to be transparent or not have that appearance of a conflict. And then the attorney that's involved they're the one that's going to be appointed, just happened to be one that had acknowledged that the former dive team donations that were going into this special nonprofit to be held instead of into the treasurer's account at the county managing it properly. Well, they did it that way so that, they could, keep that secret from the board. That's going to be one of the, ethics commission members. So, we literally are in the twilight zone in this county. There needs to be a book on it, and John and I have laughed about it for years. We need to get it finished because you can't make it up. You could take a dartboard and just throw it. If it's Illinois, wherever the dart hits, pick that unit of government, and you're going to find something that's not being followed in the law because they're not even reading the law.
Right.
Tonight they're doing a budget amendment, tomorrow night a budget amendment for the sheriff. Almost $800,000 budget amendment. Well, the provisions for a county budget amendment are very, very, very strict. And the last board, the good folks that they ran out of office, was the first time that county had ever properly followed the budget law. They're going right back to the way they were doing it before. They're going to amend the budget, and they're not going to follow the law. And the law says they're committing a crime if they do what they plan on doing, what's on the agenda. There's no enforcement of anything in the state.
Well, no, and it's so complicated, quite frankly, and there's so many units of government, and nobody can pay attention. Even Milton Township, I sent you a request for information on them because it looks like they're going to violate budget procedures, too, by trying shifting money between one fund and another, and there's very specific requirements to do that at the township level, too. And yet Milton Township, taken over by the Democrats, is getting ready to violate the law as well. I mean, it's just, and meanwhile, we're like, okay, this weather's getting nice. We got lots of other things we want to do than watch government and watch these people that just have no morals, no fortitude to do the right thing. It's disgusting. All right.
Well, I default back to Ben Franklin when he was asked, what kind of government did you give us? And he said, a republic if you can keep it. The process of keeping it, though, we're not teaching civics anymore, so folks don't even know how to keep their government.
Yeah. All right, Kirk and John, thanks so much. Really appreciate your input every single Wednesday for Watchdog Wednesday, and we'll be right back after this.
Thank you.
Make your voice heard. Call or text The Real Story at 312-642-5600.
The law group you know and trust, Nauman & Associates, is expanding into commercial litigation. When disputes can't be resolved, get the strategic guidance from a litigation lawyer who will fight for your rights. Attorney Richard Cannon brings both strong courtroom and dispute settlement skills. We believe most cases can be resolved without costly courtroom battles, but we prepare as if a trial is possible. When your company needs to stand its ground, contact Nauman & Associates in Elk Grove Village. For a consultation, visit nalawgroup.com.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
Matthew.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I just need you to listen to me.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
All the talks we've had over the years, including what you've told me about not using alcohol and other drugs, they stick with me. And believe it or not, they really do make a difference, especially at times that matter most.
Hey, want a drink?
No thanks, I'm good. So thank you, Dad, for talking and preparing me for what's ahead.
Thanks, Mom, for never giving up and always being my biggest fan.
Thank you for letting me know what you expect, so I can try to meet your expectations.
Thank you for talking.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, welcome back. It's Jeannie here. Amy is off today. I think she went to California. She's starting up that fan club for Spencer Pratt. I may join it. So we'll take a couple phone calls, 312-642-5600 if you want to weigh in on the conversation. I just got to encourage people. You have to get involved. You have to start paying attention to where your money's going in this state. I mean, you just heard from the watchdogs. There's a number of elected officials that just are not doing what they should be doing. They're not doing the right thing for you or your family. And so, I don't know. It's up to you. Are you going to help save the state or not? Are you going to continue to just buy into all this? I don't know. I mean, we just brought up the whole Arts Council thing. That is such a joke. Arts Connection of Central Illinois, they're another one. They're an Effingham group. Guess what? They already rake in about $2.6 million looking at their last 990 that is on file. And yet they're going to get money to go ahead and, run some shows. I think they're having Ted Nugent in or something. They're out of Effingham. So it's not just centered in Chicago, by the way. It's centered everybody. Everybody's got their hands out for your money. Is that the right thing? I don't know. Anyway, so here we go. Somebody said, I haven't listened to you in the past couple of days. Well, maybe, keep listening. I'd like to hear more from you people. Did Jelly Belly find a transportation in Columbia, Illinois? The Amish texter. Not sure what that meant, Amish texter. Was downtown yesterday. These are text messages. Missed much of the program. What was the rat balloons at the city hall, referencing from Mayor Johnson? Who knows? Oh boy, the rats are out. Maybe the unions are upset with him. That would be interesting, but I doubt it. So anyway, yeah, a lot going on in the state. Big decisions being made in the next 3 weeks down in Springfield. We'll be covering them. I want to thank you all for joining me on The Real Story, again, 11 a.m. to noon. And you can sign up for my newsletter, breakthrough-ideas.com. Get informed that way. And whatever you can do to push out the lawsuit that I have against Pritzker and let other people know about it, that would be terrific. Really appreciate this audience here. Thanks for joining me today. And we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. And Amy will be with me.
I'd like to tell you about a man named Phineas who as a child survived the Holocaust. Phineas survived because Christians hid him from the Nazis, risking everything to save his life. Today, Phineas is in his 80s. He can no longer stand on his own or even leave his home to receive medical care. And when sirens sound and missiles fall, he doesn't have the time or the strength to reach safety. But once again, Christians are helping to save his life. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, a mobile clinic brings doctors and medicine right to Phineas's doorstep, providing care that he otherwise would not receive, especially during a time of war. Phineas said, "Christians saved my life during the Holocaust, and now again, they are helping me." As Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day approaches, remember these precious children of God by lifting them up in prayer, asking for his protection, his comfort, and his peace. Stand with Israel in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
News, opinion, insight. This is AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer Chicago.
Democrat-led effort to rein in the president on Iran with a war powers resolution, picking up a third Republican defection, though the vote to advance the measure still failed 49-50, with one Republican not voting. This just hours after President Trump arrived in China, where Iran will be one of the topics at a summit with President Xi. And as the president was flying to Beijing, a Chinese supertanker was crossing the Strait of Hormuz with 2 million barrels of